Aqua Rush, salty spray, power thrust, certainty. Kawasaki is where I wanna be.
Introducing the hottest two-seater watercraft on the water, the Kawasaki Jet Ski Super Sport. With a sleek V hull and a powerful 750 engine, the Super Sport is where you want to be.
Kawasaki, let the good times roll. Kawasaki.
Roughing minors, coincidental minors to Paul Stanton and Dale Hunter. It won't affect play on the ice. Rick Tocchet, I think he got hit in the nose by Dale Hunter back in that first period. You mentioned that Hunter is quiet. When he just took a shot right at the back of the head of Paul Stanton, then he tied him up. Stanton's trying to get out of there, just trying to pull himself away from Hunter, throwing the elbow into his face as he was doing it, and he picked up a roughing minor as well. Dale Hunter will not get too involved in that kind of stuff until his team is behind. He likes to change the flow of the game, try to get his team going, but he's smart enough to know not to take penalties when the game is still, as it is now, tied at 1 or if his team is ahead.
Well, the face-off will be in Pittsburgh territory to the left of Tom Barrasso. Mike Ridley with Kelly Miller and Dino Ciccarelli. And Iafrate and Langway will play defense together. The Penguins counter here with Trottier, Tocchet, and Steven. Larry Murphy and Ulf Samuelsson. Peter Bondra scored for the Capitals at 3:03. 38 seconds later was Troy Loney to tie the game. A lot of jockeying going on here. Trottier's waved out of the face-off, and Stevens comes in trying to muscle his way in. Could not do it. Iafrate slam it down the right wing boards, but the Penguins chase for it. They can't get it out. Stevens will try again. Capitals all over him. Still keep possession. And Mike Ridley steer it behind the net, and Rick Tocchet handles it. Tocchet coming over to the Penguins from the Philadelphia Flyers. Enjoyed a big stretch run for the Penguins, despite the fact that he played with his broken jaw that he suffered in Chicago on March 15th. Actually was hit. You see Tocchet number 92 on a pass from Mario Lemieux. As Lemieux is trying to shoot it up into the offensive zone, he simply caught Tocchet on the jaw and broke his jaw. Tocchet went off for a while, came back and scored 2 goals. The Penguins went on to win the game.
Ulf Samuelsson last year in the playoffs was often given a mission, kind of a search and destroy mission against the opposition's top right winger. He's playing the left side, and occasionally the Penguins would put him on the other side to check someone. Of course, the battles with Cam Neely are the ones that are most notable, but in this situation now, or at least the last 20 games of this regular season, the Penguins have had Samuelsson out there with the top line of the Penguins, Lemieux's line, and therefore he hasn't had an opportunity to check against the top scorer of the opposition, because normally checking lines are on the ice for the opposition. But you may see the Penguins come with some kind of decision as to what to do with Samuelsson after this game, depending on any of the right wingers on the Caps unit to have a good night.
And Herdina now put it behind the Caps goals. The Penguins get ready to go behind the net to Yager. Turns around with a backhander that misses the mark. Partially deflected Herdina. And they weave in that corner. The Penguins have it in behind the net. Erie in front. Shoots it right out. Beaupre on the bad angle, and he got a leg on that. Shale Samuelsson gave it right to Michael Bovanka, but he coughed it up to Jaromir Jagr. He gave it away, and the Capitals steer it up into the Penguin zone. Shale Samuelsson dumps it back. Here come the Penguins on a 2-on-none. The Capitals on line change. Herdina's got Jagr in front. He goes to him. It's a deflection. Missed the net. Or did Beaupre get a piece of it? I'm not sure. Looked as though Jagr just could not find the net as he got in deep. The Capitals were in the midst of a change, and the Penguins almost made them pay for it. Now Jagr on the right wing board. Comes in, goes to Herdina. Jagr was up in it by Povanka. Herdina shoots it towards the net, hit Jagr. Up in it in front of the goal was Bob Erie by Sylvain Cote, and Beaupre comes over trying to clear the puck out. He hustles to get back on the net now as Sylvain Cote gains possession up to Kevin Hatcher. And up to the left wing to Randy Burridge, who will easily send it to the Penguin left wing corner. Getting the puck will be Larry Murphy. Up the center to Ron Francis with Loney and Mullen as his wingers now. The Penguins again snapping it behind the Capitals goal. Hatcher tried to play it away. Francis to Loney. Loney trying to put it in front. Joey Mullen there also. They can't get it out in front of the net. It's on the side of the goal. Beaupre trying to muscle people away from that net. Now knocks down one of the Penguins, and we get a stop in action. 13-15 left in the second period. Tied at 1.
Class hockey player, the former captain of the Czechoslovakian national team, went to Jagr, and Jagr was looking down at the puck, and I think he kind of lost track of where he was. He came to the net. First he looked back at Herdina. When he finally got the puck on his stick, he was in too tight and really steered it just wide of the goal, I believe.
Now I look at it, I think Herdina actually was trying to shoot it to the net, and a shot from the left point by Ulf Samuelsson denied by Beaupre. if he'd have gotten the puck out to Yager about 10 feet away from Beaupre, then he could work his magic with that wand.
And I think that's why Yager had problems with it, because finally when he did get the puck, he really didn't know what to do with it or where he was exactly.
It was a very hard, I think more of a shot than it was a pass. And Joey Mullen now deflects it back in behind the Capitals goal, and Calle Johansson, former Buffalo Sabre, to the left wing of Drews, can't get it out. Right point, Murphy banned on that attempted right point shot. Deflected back to center, and Murph again will take control of it. On to the left wing to Ronnie Francis, camps in. Basically sent it to the goal, and Beaupre has it, and Hatcher rattles Ronnie Francis with a big body check. Sends him flying. And Francis steps in to say something to Kevin Hatcher at 6'4", 225 pounds, a big figure on the ice. The Capital defenseman number 4, Kevin Hatcher, and an all-star.
Yeah, and the fans here in Washington get down on him pretty quickly because he doesn't throw body checks like that often enough, at least for their liking. Big guy like that, they figure he should always be driving guys into the glass. And that was a good hit by Hatcher on Ronnie Francis there. Scotty Bowman won Stanley Cups with the Montreal Canadiens in 73, 76, 77, 78, and 79.
It took the Blues to the finals twice, did he not?
Yep.
St. Louis Blues. Ridley's unit out here with Cicerelli and Miller against Trottier. Stevens and Tocchet now. It's Jennings off the left point, shoots it. It comes off the leg. Shell Samuelson delivered to the corner, comes in front now from Trottier to Stevens, and he couldn't pull the trigger. And Rod Langway, a veteran defenseman, up the right wing to Kelly Miller. A drive low, crouching style of skating that Kelly Miller has. Leave it for Cicerelli. Good pass, right point. Iafrate can shoot it, and he got to go, and it was blocked by Kevin Stevens. Bounced off his body all the way back to the Capitals line. Iafrate gave it away to Trottier. Trottier shoots it off the arm of Beaupre. It bounces up in front, and Langway clears it over to the near corner. Now Mike Ridley. Capital center iceman. Push it up to Miller. He looks for Dino Cicerelli, and Jennings going to take him with a shoulder check into the corner. A loose puck pulled in by Shell Samuelson, number 23. And up to Stevens, who has a little room to work with here with Rick Tocchet. Stevens glides his way into the Capitals end. Drop pass goes to Jennings. A rich shot right down low, and Beaupre had to come off his stick, and he juggles it up in the air and holds on. Remember the game the other night in Pittsburgh when Beaupre was beaten by the Penguins 4-1. There were a lot of occasions when the puck came off his stick or his body, and he juggled up in the air and left it out in front. We haven't seen that until just this last moment, a couple of moments, where that puck comes off of him and up in the air, and then it's kind of free game for everybody.
Yeah, the other night, Rick Tocchet scored a goal the other night on the power play with a puck bouncing up in the air like that. He batted it right out of midair into the net to get a goal for the Penguins. The Penguins have done a good job in this hockey game of gaining the Capitals' blue line. They're getting that Capital defense to back up, and they're being able to make plays just inside the blue line. Earlier in the season series between these two clubs, the Caps are doing a good job of shutting down the slot, shutting down the blue line, and forcing the Penguins to turn the puck over, and they were getting good odd man rushes back the other way, but that has not been the case in this game. The Penguins have been able to make a lot of good plays in the offensive zone on the rush.
Penguins have outshot the Capitals 11-3 here in the second period so far, and the game is tied at 1. 11:41 left. The Capitals gain the puck from the draw. Dale Hunter flips to the left wing for Randy Burries. Now they've got Hunter going to the bench now as he comes off. He was handling the face-off for defensive purposes in his own zone, and he's one of the better face-off men in the league. Only 2 power play chances, both of those for the Capitals coming in the first period of play. We've had pretty tight game as far as penalties, not too many of them. Verasso goes over to the far side, and Bob Airy again pulls it in. Phil Bourque of the Penguins was ejected on a high sticking major in the first period, so he's gone for the night. And Johansson rambles back into his own zone, goes up to Bavaca. He just simply shoots it off the sideboard. This one will come to light to the ice. It could be an icing call, and it will be against the Caps. With 11 minutes left here in the second period, still tied on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Now, is there anyone else who doesn't listen to DV?
The Washington Capitals got up to the quickest start of anybody in the National Hockey League. They were 17-5 to begin the season, and they were in first place in the National Hockey League from October 13th until January 16th. And that's when the Rangers took over first place, and they never relinquished it the rest of the way. So the Capitals were in the driver's seat for at least half the season. They finished second overall in the Patrick and overall in the standings, tied with Detroit in points, but had more victories. And it breaks that log jam. Herdina against Hunter. Capitals win another face-off, and it'll be Burridge again sneaking the puck back to center, but there's number 68, Jaromir Jagr. Murphy takes the puck, flip it up high in the atmosphere, going to the left wing corner. Bob Airy ran into Brad Slagle. Now here's Jagr off the corner boards. Tough here, comes down, backhands into the net. And that again is stopped by Bo Prud. Palanca races through center, going to the Penguin line. A drop pass intercepted by Jagr. The Penguins counterattack, and it'll be Yuri Hrdina now on with Loney. Hrdina going to the right side.
Hrdina loves to go to the right side, and that time he crisscrossed with Loney and got.
Capitals, though, start right back, and Burridge with a quick shot from 20 feet, and Barrasso denies that.
They got their signals crossed, and Loney had to do everything he could to stay on side there.
Loose puck to the right of the Penguin cage. Larry Murphy throws it from his own zone, still hearing cat calls. The former Capital defenseman Murphy fell down, now going to the bench, and get an icing call against the Penguins. But every time Murphy touches the puck here, the fans get on him with a little call that they have here in this building. But Murphy has had one of his best years in the National Hockey League ever with the Penguins this year, and of course helped really lead the way for them in the playoffs last year to win the Stanley Cup. There's Al Iafredi, the former Maple Leaf, who is a free spirit to say the least.
And he led the way. The Capitals defenseman scored 59 goals this year. The defenseman as a core scored 59, and he led the way.
Patting off Fontaine has scored for Buffalo. They now lead the Bruins 2-0 second period at Boston. And Dale Hunter steps in here against Ron Francis, this time to the left of the Penguin net. We're halfway home here in the second period, 10:03 left. Dropped up. Christie's won that face off to Hatcher. Lost the puck to Ronnie Francis, and the Penguins center iceman trying to connect up ahead of the right wing to Mullen, and it's broken up by the Caps, and it goes deep behind the Penguin net and Gordy Roberts. The Penguin defenseman, he's paired out here with Stanton. His pass came off a stick to Troy Loney. Loney shoots it on the center. Johansson again gathers it in to Dale Hunter, and he'll drive it down the near boards and behind the Pittsburgh goal. And Roberts again to chase after it, this time an icing call against Washington.
Mike, the boards here in the Cap Center are dead. There's not a lot of life to them. When you dump the puck in, the puck just kind of sits there, and that's tailor-made for the Caps' strong forechecking style that they have. It makes it tough for the defensemen like Gordy Roberts, Larry Murphy, to go back and make plays. They have to move the puck very quickly, hammer it around the boards, and even that's difficult because the boards don't give you that good bounce when you try to hammer it off the boards to get it around up the sideboards where the wingers can handle it. So it makes it very difficult when the Caps go to that real strong forechecking style that they have.
Gordy Roberts, 34-year-old defenseman out of Detroit, Michigan, playing for the Penguins. I looked at some stats today over the course of the year. He was probably the Penguins' most consistent player as far as first half and second half in identical type of marks that he posted. He finished very strong in the plus-minus department for the Penguins on the year, among their leaders. And here we go back to action now. The puck out of the Capital zone. Paul McDermott winded over to Dimitri Christie, and Christie zigzag in. Look back, came off a leg, and the Penguins can't get it. Now Francis will try. Falls down. Push it up to Joey Mullen. Goes the off wing left side, and the Capitals in. They'll leave it for Standing. Lets it go. Roberts has the puck. Gordy Roberts around center point to Paul Stanton. Snaps it off. That'll miss the mark. Loney, the Penguins in. McDermott there too, but here's Francis over to gather the puck in, and he tried to center. Went off a blade. Left point, Gordy Roberts. Push it down the wood and in behind the goal. Loney of the Penguins, his strong point is right here where he is now against McDermott, working those boards and trying to make it happen from behind that net.
McDermott's no slouch in that department either.
Well, he certainly isn't. There's two big heavyweights working against one another there. They still dig for it. Johansson, Francis. And finally, with a whistle sounds, Kerry Frazier tells the coal miners who were digging for coal to get on out of there. And there's Hunter in to give Francis a little shot from behind. Loney, that's hard work, too, believe me. 8:47 to go in the second period, tied at 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network. Well, this is Mike Lang at the Cap Center in Landover, Maryland, where the Pittsburgh Penguins and Washington Capitals are all tied at 1 apiece. And Kelly Miller drags it back for the Capitals, going to the Penguins end. Miller of the Miller brother fame in this league put it back in front of the goal, and it comes off Brian Jennings, and Jennings digging for it. Back in the corner, Samuelson ties up the man. That's one thing the Penguins want their defensemen to do, is tie up those people with that puck, because they love to cycle and work out the boards.
You got to pin your man.
Stevens now cutting through to the Capitals end on a late whistle there, but an offside call. And now Cicerelli and Stevens, and Cicerelli bumped him from behind, and Stevens pushes back. Stevens was about 15 to 20 feet inside the zone when the whistle sounded on the offside play, and Cicerelli and Stevens jaw with one another.
Stevens really trying to stay under control. It's pretty obvious the way he skated away from Cicerelli there, and Dino came right back at him, trying to get under his skin with some verbal abuse. I was watching Sel Samuelson coming back on this rush, Mike, with Kelly Miller holding the puck a moment ago. This is the Penguins busting in. You see the Iafrate pushing Rick Tocchet offside as Stevens brought it across. But Sel Samuelson had Kelly Miller coming down the wing. He didn't even look at Miller. He just kind of felt that he had control of him as he came down the left side. Samuelson playing the right side, and Samuelson had his eyes fixed behind Miller, looking around to see who he might be passing to. And he was conscious that he had him under control. He didn't have to keep his eyes right on the man with the puck.
Penguins win this face-off, and they slip it up into the Capitals' end, but they're offside again. Somebody got into the zone before the puck went in there, and they call it back. Game 2 coming up on Tuesday night of this playoff series. You know, as the Badger used to say, you got to win 4. You got to win 4.
And you can lose 3. He used to say you can lose 3 and still win the series. Don't forget that.
Sel Samuelson again at center. The Badger, of course, refer to the former Penguin coach, Bob Johnson. He came to the Penguins in 1 year and led them to the Stanley Cup. After a great career at the University of Wisconsin, on with the Calgary Flames, and also a lot of good things happening with his wife Martha, and establishing the Johnson fund that they have for scholarships. And
Bob Johnson Hockey Foundation.
Yeah, Hockey Foundation.
And the Penguins, I think, learned more than anything under Badger Bob to overcome adversity, the kind of adversity they're faced with here tonight with Mario Lemieux out of the lineup, and they've played very well in this game so far, a 1-1 tie.
Sel Samuelson will dump it in behind the Capitals goal. Iafrate comes in, and Stevens will hit him with a shoulder. Now it's off the boards. Trottier has it, trying to put it in front. He does. It deflects right in on Beaupre. And Stevens is right in front of that net as Iafrate is next to him. Kevin Stevens causing problems for the Capital defenseman right in front of that net with the size that he has. We talked about Hatcher in the size, but Stevens at 6'3", 220 pounds. He's the consummate, as they call it now, in the National Hockey League, power forward in this league. 54 goals in the regular season, over 100 points, over 250 minutes in penalty time, and he can fly like the wind. He can skate.
And he's a real leader in this locker room for the Penguins. Last year, he really kind of emerged as that vocal leader. Brian Trottier just loves to talk about the leadership qualities of Kevin Stevens, and he's seen some great ones. He used to talk a lot, and he does talk a lot about the way Clark Gillies would command that kind of respect from his teammates in the locker room, and Kevin Stevens is a similar player.
Stevens has amassed the most points ever by a left winger in the National Hockey League this year, and the most points ever by an American player. And Dale Hunter now rambles through, going to the Capitals, the Penguin line, and he shoots it in. Barrasso stops it. He'll snap it around the boards, and it comes off. Tocchet hustles over to try and get it at center, but he can't. The Penguins, Trottier will. Brian Trottier, good left wing pass here. Stevens moves in. His wrist shot. He missed the net. Tried to go to the far post on Beaupre, but couldn't find it. Game opens up now, and Dale Hunter of the Capitals couldn't get into the Penguins end. Still left outside that line, and Sel Samuelson winded in the boards. Tocchet tried to push it over to Stevens. Intercepted by the Washington Capitals, and Dmitry Kristich gets his way to the Penguins end. Just onside was McDermott. The puck into the far corner, and Sel Samuelson, the Penguin defenseman, comes to McDermott, flattens him with a shoulder. Off to the right point, Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher whip it to the net, and a stop by Barrasso, and play a stop, and now a collision between Stevens and Dale Hunter. And here's Ulf Samuelson and Paul McDermott whacking one another. McDermott kicks Samuelson's stick away. I think it might be broken anyway. Rick Tocchet and Dale Hunter, they've matched up a few times. McDermott just came in and flattened Sel Samuelson with the right arm. Sent him flying.
Yeah, a flying elbow by McDermott. Trottier was in there digging behind Dmitry Kristich. And now Samuelson talking to Jerry Pateman, the linesman. Tom Barrasso a moment ago, and you see now Scotty Bowman's having a word with Kerry Frazier, and maybe the Penguins feel the Capitals getting away with some liberties here, and they want to just set the record straight. But Tom Barrasso made a big play a moment ago to stop that dump in by the Caps and immediately fire it up the near boards and back out. He did that so successfully last year in this playoff series between the Penguins and Capitals, and the Caps just never really adjusted to it. And that's the one thing that Barrasso does just so much better than Don Beaupre, is that ability to come out and handle the puck. Beaupre really doesn't seem to even have the confidence to want to come out of the goal and handle it. Barrasso can really help his defenseman out by stepping out and moving it the way he does, particularly, as I said earlier, with those boards being as dead as they are. If he can get out quickly and get to it, those guys don't have to come back and have their face against the glass as they try to make plays out of their own end.
Dave Tippett on here with Johnny Bruce, who holds the left wing, and Alan May on the right side, and Herdina, the Penguin center iceman, face off right wing circle Penguin zone. And it's whistled down, a false face off. They have to do it again. Tippett's going to get it waved out, I think. And Alan May is called upon here to handle the draw against Yuri Herdina.
This has been a very effective line for the Penguins throughout the hockey game, particularly here in the second period. Herdina with Airy and Yager.
To the right point of the Penguins in, a slap shot towards the net, blocked in front. Larry Murphy couldn't get it out, though. Left point, Johansson feed it over to the right wing corner. Alan May of the Capitals. Bang it right back in behind the net. Dave Tippett handled by Murphy, but the Capitals come over and gain the puck. They can't make a play. Jaromir Jagr looks for somewhere to go with it. Shot it up the backside of his own man, Larry Murphy. Capitals on the right side. Alan May shoot it to the net, and that's stopped by Barrasso's stick. Digging forward off Samuelson. Cutting to the right of his own goal. Bank it off the glass. And Johansson knocked it down with a glove. Over to John Bruce. Turns and shoots and scores. Johnny Bruce fired it off the left wing boards. And the Capitals have taken the lead 2-1. John Bruce.
Penguins just had too many opportunities to get that puck out of their zone and did not do it. Jagr hit one of the Caps with a pass, a cross-ice pass out of his own end that was held in. And then Ulf Samuelsson fired the puck off the glass, but Calle Johansson did a good job of holding it in. Bruce right off the boards. He's got a quick release. Barrasso down on the short side. Saw that puck sail over his shoulder and into the net. Barrasso went down pretty early on that shot.
That hit Murphy's stick, I believe, on the way in. The Penguin defenseman hopped up right over the shoulder of Barrasso, and the Capitals have the lead again, 2-1. Larry Murphy from behind the Pittsburgh goal. On to Wolf Samuelsson. His pass intercepted by Calle Johansson. Johansson left it inside the Penguin line, and Jagr clears, but Johansson shoots it in again. Johansson will have the only assist. And Larry Murphy again swings it back into the Capitals' left wing corner. Kevin Hatcher on the fence. Back around over to Johansson. Pavanka takes the puck, cuts into the Penguins in. A drop pass, Herdina able to steal that as Jagr breaking up eyes and hits him with a pass. Jagr 1-on-1 against Cote of the Capitals. Jagr pulls in, stops now. Dear boys, pass off. A shot for the Penguins. Stanton deflected. Here's Herdina with it. Herdina throwing right across the goal mouth. Nobody there. And Randy Burridge will drive it up the sideboards and back to center. It comes back into the Capitals in. Burridge went over to take possession, but it bounced by him, and Cote will give it to Burridge. Relay it to the Penguin net. Barrasso, the Penguin goaltender, forces it out of his own end onto center. 5:10 to go in the second period. Washington 2 and Pittsburgh 1. Game 1 of the semifinal Patrick Division playoff series. And again, directed to the Penguin, the Capitals in. Beaupre comes out of the goal. Third it up. The Capitals have a little break going here. McDermott and Christie. Here they come to the Penguins in. Christie's against Dale Samuelson, and Samuelson just takes him right out of the action. Paul McDermott over to get to the puck. To Dale Hunter of Washington. And this pass right to Joey Mullen. Francis has a broken stick apparently. Grabs, goes towards that bench. I thought he was going to get a new blade, but he did not. He kicked the puck into the Capitals zone. Joey Mullen looking for it. Who's going to find the puck? And a circle around and around. Slagle knocks down Francis Mullen. Down to Loney in front. Trying to make the play. Loney can't drive it in. He tries again. And Beaupre says no. Donnie Beaupre stopping Troy Loney twice from point-blank range. And he keeps the Penguins from tying the game. 4:25 left, second period. 2-1 Washington on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Francis made a wise decision in not going to the bench to get a stick. He just kicked the puck into the offensive zone, and the Penguins were able to then gain control of it. Look at Francis getting knocked down, working that puck over to Mullen. And Loney went right to the net and hammered at that puck. Beaupre held it out of there. Loney got another crack at it, but just couldn't get it up in the air on the backhand.
Now Brad Slagle, the young rookie defenseman, stood out there 40 feet from the net, and Francis had him tied up, and he never was around the goal, and the Penguins almost tied it. Joey Mullen also got a stick on that shot. Here's Miller back for the Capitals. 2-on-1 to the Penguins in. Kelly Miller cuts for the net. His shot, and Barrasso stopped him from the left wing circle. Penguins go the other way. This game has had a lot of good scoring chances in it. Rick Tocchet around to the near boards. Tocchet looks for a trailer. Jennings is over. Ciccarelli beat him to it. Dino Ciccarelli looking to headman the puck, but Tocchet intercepts that. Slam it through into the Capital zone, and Iafrate simply clears. Ciccarelli sneaking into Penguin ice, and Kjell Samuelsson back defensively. We'll find Stevens ahead now to Rick Tocchet. Penguin right winger against Langway. Pulls up. Shoot it down the boards and behind the net. Beaupre gets the puck over to Hatcher, and on the right wing it is tapped over to Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli washing into the Penguins in, skating well. Gave it to an open man, really, but he can't control it, and the Penguins force it back to the Capitals line. Penguins want to make a line change right now with 3:20 left here in this second period. Dmitry Kristich zigzag into the Penguin zone. It came off Ulf Samuelsson up in the air. Penguins can't clear. Dale Hunter drags it over. Hunter looking to make a play out of the corner, and he loves to make that move, but he can't find anybody. And Hrdina quickly on the counterattack to Bob Airy of the Pens. Over to Hrdina, left side, camps in. Put it in front. It went right by Bob Airy's stick as he was knocked down. Capitals spin it around to the near boards, and Dale Hunter slowly brings it through the alley. Go into the Penguin zone. Poke checked off his stick. The Penguins will try and go the other way. They have the puck, and Bob Airy looking for Murphy on the near side, and Larry Murphy flips that puck up into the left wing corner. Capitals territory. Kristich around the horn. And Paul McDermott handles the puck. Capitals right winger. Too far for Dale Hunter. He'll come off the ice now as the Capitals will change on the move also. 2-1 Washington here in the second. Jaromir Jagr has the puck. Suited up Johansson's body. It came to the left point. Gordy Roberts wristed back into the right side of the Capital zone. Comes up in the air and over the glass and out of action.
Well, Dmitry Kristich is a guy with tremendous hands. He's got great skills, and you've seen him tonight trying to beat everybody as he carries that puck into the offensive zone, but it's not working against that Penguin defense. But at least he has the confidence now to handle the puck the way he did. Last year in the playoffs, not particularly effective. He was just getting his feet wet in Stanley Cup playoff competition for the Capitals. Kristich had only 1 goal and 4 points in the 11 playoff games last year, but then he found his game at the beginning of this regular season, and as I said, was able to score 36 goals during the regular season, and that's more goals than any other Russian player scored this year in the NHL, which is kind of a surprise because Kristich, the young guy, really wasn't talked about all that much when the season began.
Well, the North Stars back to their old tricks. They beat Detroit last night in the opening game of that series. Edmonton beat the Kings 3-1 at Los Angeles. Chicago winning their series to begin the Stanley Cup play. And Winnipeg knocking off Vancouver. A few upsets last night. Not a surprise, really, with the long layoff the players had. Might see a few upsets here in this playoff year, as we did last year, really. Loney over. Bondra steps into him. Now Loney again gets away from that check. On to Francis. Remember, Bondra's trapped up ice. Here goes Mullen, right side. Comes in and shoots it. Good save made. Rebound. Where is it? Beaupre's got that puck. The rebound came up, but Beaupre somehow scrambled to grab it again. Peter Bondra got trapped up ice, and you could just feel the momentum going to the Penguins coming in. But they can't be Beaupre, who has been sparkling.
And you see Joey Mullen with that great patience that he has offensively. Francis made a nice pass to him, and he waited. Looked the net over, pulled Beaupre over to one side, took the shot. The rebound came up and hit Loney or Francis coming across. And Beaupre went diving back towards that goal line and pulled it in and smothered it. Ronnie Francis with a nice pass to Joey Mullen. He waited and then shot it. Beaupre got it, and Francis almost knocked it out of the air into the net. That was a good save by Beaupre because of the way Mullen pulled him over to one side and then shot it back against the grain, and he was still able to extend his stick glove out there.
But in the second period, Beaupre has been more vulnerable to those shots up high and juggling it. Haven't come away from him, and the Penguins are starting to do that more here and trying to take advantage of it. Granted, he scrambled to get back and make the stop, but it's not something the goaltender wants to do consciously, especially leave that puck in front of the net for any length of time with people around there. We have a minute 45 left here in this second period. We had no scoring in the opening 20 minutes, but Bondra and John Druce connecting for the Capitals, Troy Loney for the Penguins.
Gary Murray's team did not skate here at the Cap Center this morning. The Penguins did. They skated at their new training facility, which they say has been a big help to them throughout the course of this season out in Piney Orchard. So only one team was on hand today for the media interviews for that first game of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And Kevin Hatcher now to the face-off at the Caps line. Looking to Dale Hunter. The Penguins break up that maneuver and shoot it back into the Capitals' left wing circle. Hunter's back to again gather it in. His pass up in the air. Here's Mullen being whacked at by Dale Hunter. And I think we're going to have penalties issued here to both Dale Hunter and Joey Mullen. Hunter just worked over Mullen, and then Joey retaliated, and I think they're both going to sit out.
Mike, you know, that might be by design, too, that the Capitals are keeping their team out at their training facility, knowing that the media will tend to want to come down here to the rink where the games are going to be played. And it's difficult to be in two places at once. And I remember last year, Craig Patrick did a job of trying to control the amount of attention that the media was able to get from the players, because it was a bit of a distraction, or at least he felt it was. And perhaps the Capitals have thought about that too. What with all the talk about the Capitals not being able to get past the second round of the playoffs, they just want to eliminate that distraction as Dale Hunter goes to the locker room.
Number 32, Dale Hunter, 2 minutes for charging. Time of the penalties is 18:36.
Charging call to Hunter, and I think a roughing.
You're right. Roughing to Joey Mullen.
2 minutes charging. Time of the penalties 18:36.
Kevin Hatcher said in Pittsburgh after the Caps lost at their last regular season game last week, he said this is going to be a series where you could score 5 goals and lose, or score 2 goals and win. And Scotty Bowman's team is down by 1 right now. The Capitals with a 2-1 lead, 1:24 to go in the second period.
You know what's interesting too? You have the 2 top teams. I think Buffalo might have been another one. The 2 top teams that being able to come from behind when they trail in the third period, go into the third period this year. Penguins have done it 8 times, which is the #1 mark in the league. The Capitals are 7 times they've rallied. So you've got 2 teams that have the ability to come back in games. This could be a great series. Back behind the Capital net, Tocchet fell on his wallet as he tried to reach in and grab the puck. Simply lost his balance. Stevens in the left wing corner. 1:10 to go in the period. Frazier, the referee, trying to get out of the way. Now Trottier behind the goal. Langway steps in, steals from his play, and gives it over to no man Ridley, who will poke it through up the center. Grant Jennings with a minute to go. Played it up into the penalty box, and that'll stop the action. The faceoff will take place inside the Penguin line. So they both are very capable of coming from behind in games. Capitals lost only 12 times here. The Penguins had the best winning streak in the National Hockey League, or tied it down the stretch run. They won 9 consecutive games on home ice to finish out the season. So they'll have that on the line when they return home back to the Civic Arena coming up Thursday.
Brian Trottier playing in his 199th playoff game.
The only man that's played more, Larry Robinson of the Los Angeles Kings. And Cicerelli is center now, blasting the puck into the Penguin zone. It comes off the near side, and Tocchet worked it around. Trottier ran into Langway, and the play is going to be stopped as Langway just tapped it back inside, and it's another offside call.
I was looking at Rod Langway's statistics, Mike. He has never been a minus player in his career. 14th season in the National Hockey League. Talk about why they put defense. You open up the dictionary and you find his picture next to that word. The captain of the Caps, Rod Langway, the fixture here in the Washington area,
and affectionately called the Secretary of Defense.
Right.
Tocchet from the draw is going to shoot it back to the Penguin net. Barrasso. That's Larry Murphy handle the biscuit. He shoots it up the right side, intercepted by the Capitals, but they can't make anything happen. Langway finally gets the puck over to Mike Ridley. He shoots it in. Left wing corner, Dino Cicerelli with that good speed goes behind the net, and then Samuelson lined him up and crunches him. He was looking for Dino, and Dino cut in behind, and he yells now at Elf Samuelson. Now on to center, we'll go to Langway. Rod Langway giving the puck over, and here's a check by Stevens on Mike Ridley. Flattens him, and Kelly Miller steps into Kevin Stevens. Back on the Capitals, 6 seconds to go in the period. Cicerelli turned around by Larry Murphy. Dino now goes out, man open, look out, a shot. Stopped by Barrasso as Kelly Miller let it go. Time runs out. The Capitals almost had another goal there as time ran out. And here's Larry Murphy and Dino Cicerelli barking away at one another. And Kerry Frazier, the referee, trying to pry people apart. Well, a very hard-fought game here tonight so far. And through 2, the Capitals have the lead over the Penguins 2-1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
You feel the fever and the sky is red. There's thunder on
Recently, we asked you to give your Giant Eagle receipts to schools so they could redeem them for free Apple computers. The response has been overwhelming. But remember, all receipts must be turned into your local school by Saturday, April 25th. So keep up the good work. Apples for Students from Giant Eagle. It's working.
The sun, the surf, the sand, the babes, the beach. The truth, it's 3,000 miles away and has nothing to do with Pittsburgh or beer. It's time to take action. It's time for you to write and star in your own beer commercial. Call the Pittsburgh Brewing Company at 692-1101. Now.
Channel 11 News with David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan. Professional journalists involved in their work, involved in their community. David Johnson's years in Pittsburgh give him first-hand knowledge of local issues. Add to that Peggy Finnegan's experience reporting, and it means complete detailed news coverage from Channel 11's news team. If you haven't seen us lately, it's time to see what you've been missing. Channel 11 News with David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan. More news, more often.
Well, at the end of two, the Capitals lead the Penguins 2-1. We had no scoring in the first period, but the Capitals got on the board first. Bondra at 3:03 to make it 1-0 from Pavanka and Burridge. At 3:41, 38 seconds later, Troy Loney on a long-range slap shot tied it, and John Druce from the left wing boards and the Penguins end gave the Capitals the 2-1 advantage. The shots on goal in the period, the Capitals had 10, a two-period total of 18. The Penguins had 18 shots on Donnie Beaupre in that period, now have 26 on the night. Penguins have not had a power play chance in this game, and the Capitals are 0 for 2, both of those coming in the first period. When we come back, we will talk to Penguins captain Mario Lemieux, who was on the sideline for tonight's game, and we will chat with a big center iceman on the Penguins Hockey Network.
You can count on Sears Brand Central for all the brand name electronics and appliances you want. No wonder more people buy more top name brands from the store they trust. And now you can save $100 on this 386 SX 20 megahertz Packard Bell computer with 105 megabyte hard drive. Or get this full-size LXI or Fisher 8mm camcorder for a very low $5.99. Your choice, only at Sears Brand Central.
Penn's Pro Shops in South Hills Village and Century 3 Mall, featuring an exclusive line of 25th anniversary merchandise. To order by phone, call 642-2019.
Savor the silver.
While you're enjoying some of the comforts of home, remember, your home can give you lots of other comforts. Like a way to consolidate all your bills and loans. Home equity loans from Mellon. While you're enjoying some of the comforts of home, remember, your home can give you lots of other comforts. Like a new nursery. Home equity loans from Mellon.
What would you say if you could save?
What would you say to hundreds in incentive savings on new Toyotas? Or savings of over $1,000 on this new Corolla?
Now you're talking.
You bet! Make your best deal on any new Toyota, and there's no monthly payments until July.
Now you're talking.
We're talking great deals now on every new Camry. So what do you say?
Now you're talking.
Come on into your Toyota dealer. And hurry, we're talking deals with no payments till July.
Well, this interview is brought to you by Diet Pepsi. Chill out with Pepsi and the Penguins. Pepsi, great new look, the same great taste. And now with us, center iceman Mario Lemieux, the winner of the scoring championship in the National Hockey League this year. And Mario, the big question on everybody's mind is the status of your shoulder and what your thoughts are as to when you may be able to come back.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to play on Tuesday. My shoulder is feeling a lot better the last couple of days, but still pretty weak. I tried to skate this morning, try to shoot and make some passes. Couldn't do that very well, so we decided to wait a couple more days, and hopefully it'll be fine by Tuesday night.
Mario, in the game against New Jersey, it was kind of an innocent-looking play, really, and just kind of lost your balance and went into the boards after Danico got a piece of you. Did you feel a sharp reaction right away?
Yeah, I knew right away that something was wrong. I hurt my shoulder a couple of years ago the same way. It wasn't as serious, but this time I knew right away, and hopefully, you know, I'll be able to go by Tuesday.
Mario, you've been in the National Hockey League. This is your 8th year. You've only been in the playoffs twice. I looked at that today. The things you've accomplished have been unbelievable. You won the Conn Smythe Trophy last year. The big game you had against Philadelphia in '89. You really want to play in this playoff series, do you not?
Oh, definitely. Every time you get into the playoffs, it's exciting hockey for everybody, for the fans and for the players and everybody involved in the organization. And I certainly miss it tonight. I wish I was on the ice right now, but due to my shoulder, I have to sit out one game. But hopefully, I can get back in there on Tuesday and play very well for the team.
Mario, I'm going to flatter you a little bit, but I've said in watching your career, and I've seen almost, I think, about all but 2 of the games you've played in, that you can play on any level of this game that anybody wants to. And I mean, I'm talking on the level in the Canada series and everything else, and it is something. You seem to raise your game up to the level, whatever level you really want. Am I right in reading that? Or?
Well, you're pretty right. You know, I like to play in those type of games where there's a lot of pressure and you have to perform to the best. And I've been doing that since I was really young, and I enjoy doing it. So hopefully I'll do that for the rest of my career.
All right, got about a minute. Look at this hockey game so far and tell me what you see in it.
Well, it's a great hockey game so far. Don Beaupre made some key saves early in the game to keep his team in the game. Tommy made some great saves late in the second to keep us in the game, and I think both team are playing very well right now. Hopefully we can score a couple goals in the third and take the first game.
All right, you got this guy one-on-one coming in by yourself, Donnie Beaupre. How do you beat him?
Well, he's very quick. You know, he's one of the best in the league, and when you saw early when Ronnie Francis went in, he was very quick to react to his right. So I think with Don Beaupre, you have to have a quick release and catch him off guard.
Mario, how do you see this series?
Well, it's going to be a tough series. You know, it's not going to be a short series, that's for sure. But hopefully we can win one in this building and then go home and, you know, win a couple games and go from there. But we certainly expect to win this series.
I appreciate you taking the time to join us, Mario. Best of luck, and get back in that lineup, will you, buddy? All right, thank you. This interview has been brought to you by Diet Pepsi. Chill out with Pepsi and the Penguins. Pepsi, great new look, same great taste. We'll be back with more from the Cap Center in a moment. Capitals lead 2-1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
For the last time, name the secret ingredient that gives Diet Pepsi an unfair advantage.
Uh-huh.
Well, what is it?
It's like this, baby. You know it's uh-huh, 'cause the taste is uh-huh, baby. Uh-huh. 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 You got the right one, baby.
With 100% uh-huh.
Sold.
Let's say you bought a painting. Let's say Van Gogh's Sunflowers. Let's say you used the Discover card. You'd have a little money coming back. Because with the Discover card, every single charge earns an annual cashback bonus.
Nice.
It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
If only there were two. We wouldn't have to worry about the environment. We'd have a backup. But there is no second chance, which is why Giant Eagle offers an environmentally friendlier line of high-quality Green Mark products, like unbleached coffee filters and phosphate-free detergent. Each in a small way can help protect the one world we do have.
Capitals with a 2-1 lead over the Penguins after 2 periods of play in Game 1 of the Patrick Division semifinal series. Plenty of good seats still remain for the games back in Pittsburgh. The Penguins will play home games on Thursday, April 23rd, Saturday, April 25th, and if necessary, Wednesday, April 29th. And face-off for all games is 7:35. Call tomorrow morning to place your order at 412-333-SEAT. Visa and MasterCard are accepted. Checking out the face-offs in that period. Second period total is on the left, and the game total in the parentheses. Penguins with 7 offensive face-off wins. The Capitals with only 2. Penguins with 1 defensive face-off win, and the Capitals with 6. And in the neutral zone, 5-5. A total of 9-8. But the Penguins really got great penalty killing early in this hockey game that gave them some confidence. And as the Capitals took that 2-1 lead over the Penguins in the second period, you saw them gaining confidence towards the end of the period. And in fact, they had a good scoring chance right at the buzzer. And now the Penguins are going to have to find something in the third. They have yet to have a power play opportunity in this hockey game. The Penguins killed off a 3-minute major penalty at one point. It was a 5-minute major, but 2 minutes of it were offset by a penalty to Dino Ciccarelli. Phil Bourque was thrown out of the game for a high stick on Ciccarelli, and he has not been available to the Penguins. We'll be back in just a moment with Washington enjoying a 2-1 lead over the Penguins. We're in the second intermission on the Penguins Hockey Network.
If it's the right beer now, then in 10 minutes, it won't be the right beer anymore, will it? Because now will be over, and you won't have anything to drink. So maybe it's time for you to write and star in an intelligent beer commercial. Call the Pittsburgh Brewing Company at 692-1101 now.
A recent Valley News Dispatch Readers poll voted Devereaux Chevrolet in Freeport the #1 used car dealership in the AK Valley. This outstanding reputation makes Devereaux the ideal place to look for your next used car. At Devereaux, you'll find a large selection of excellent used cars to suit your individual needs. Go with a winning reputation for quality. Go with Devereaux. Serving the AK Valley since 1923. Devereaux Chevrolet in Freeport.
1992 begins a brand new season for Comcast and a better-than-ever year for family programming. Your kids will love the all-new animated adventures of Madeline on the Family Channel and Captain Planet on TBS. Exclusive documentaries like National Geographic Explorer inform and enchant the entire family. Then, for fun and games, check out Nickelodeon's amazing Nick Arcade. It's all new in '92, only on Comcast.
Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey is being brought to you by Sears Brand Central. The brands you want at the store you trust. Sears Brand Central. By Remax. It's the experience. The real estate experience. By Pepsi-Cola. Chill out with Pepsi and the Penguins. Great new look. Same great taste. And by Dodge. For your great deals, see your nearby Dodge dealers. The advantage leaders.
Well, the second period scoring, Peter Bondra connected for the Capitals first. He had 28 in the regular season, gets his first in the playoffs at .303.
He just got that puck underneath the body of Tom Barrasso. Bondra has had a good year.
That's Bondra's first ever playoff goal.
Yep. He only had 12 goals all last season and a total of 28 this year in the regular season. One of many Capitals who busted out in the scoring department. Troy Loney tied the game with a hard slap shot coming down the left wing that caught Beaupre by surprise, beat him between the pads. Ulf Samuelsson and Joey Mullen assisting at .341. And then John Druce came off the boards, took a shot, Shel Samuelson just pulled his leg out of the way of that shot, and Barrasso was down on his knees and went over his shoulder and into the net. And Drews picks up his first playoff goal of the year from Johansson. And the Penguins had problems getting the puck out of their own zone. That's what led to that goal. They had a few opportunities to get it out and couldn't do it.
John Drews in 89-90 had 14 playoff goals in 15 games, and he single-handedly destroyed the Rangers that year in that playoff series and beat them. Now we get ready for the third period. Encouraging sign for the Penguins. They had 18 shots in the second period. At the 20-minute mark, we have penalties dished out to Larry Murphy of the Penguins and Dino Ciccarelli of the Capitals. Also, Dale Hunter and Joey Mullen still have time to serve on their penalties when we begin the third.
Capitals appear to gain some momentum, though, Mike, in the last few minutes of that period after getting the lead. And it's always tough to come back no matter what the score is in the third period. When you're down, when you're behind, it's a tough task. But as Mike pointed out earlier, the Penguins have been a team that has shown the ability to come back in these situations.
And not only that, they come back in bunches. They can score in a hurry and pick up goals, and the Capitals are fully aware of that, and the Caps will be in that same category. They can score in a hurry. It's some high-scoring games with these two teams during the course of the regular season.
It really looked like it was going to be a high-scoring game early in the game, but both goaltenders kept it from being one. They were spectacular in the first 10 minutes of this hockey game.
Herdina, the Penguins with Yager and Loney. We begin the third period, and the Capitals have it, and Calle Johansson will steer it to the Penguin goal. Barrasso, the Penguin goaltender, sets it up for Grant Jennings, who wears number 3. Part of that big deal that brought Ronnie Francis and Alf Samuelson to the Penguins, too, from the Hartford Whalers. Long shot by Loney, who connected with the only Penguins goal in that shot. An identical same spot. This time both face out. Yager in the zone. Pulls up, hit, but he gets it over to Herdina. Herdina comes in. Herdina looks for a play. Goes behind the goal. Out now to Shel Samuelson. He pulls the trigger, and he missed the net. Around to the near boards to Peter Bundra. Bundra now up in the air. Pavaka made a good play to knock it down out of the air and flip it to the right wing corner. Jennings, though, defensively hit heavily on a good solid check by Randy Burridge. And now Bondra is pinned against the boards by Troy Loney. Barrasso, the Penguin goaltender, tried to play it out. Here's Cote, though, shooting it back to the net. Barrasso put his stick out to make the save. From behind the goal, Bondra comes out, trying to stuff it on the short side, and stopped by Barrasso's left leg. Herdina, the Penguins, send it away to Troy Loney. Loney comes up. He's going to drive it to the right wing corner of the Capitals end. Look for Yager here in this third period. As we've told you, he's been a big third period player. Yager had 32 goals on the year for the Penguins, and 17 of those came in the third period. Ridley going left wing over to Kelly Miller, and he steps up into the Penguin zone. Stanton checks him. Mike Ridley. Washington center ice, good pass over to Iafrate. Iafrate moves in, doesn't shoot it, now pulls back and fires it. Stopped by Barrasso off his leg, and it caroms wide of the goal. Pretty play by Iafrate, but he couldn't get it by Barrasso. And now it's the Penguins' turn. The game opens up. It's Stanton leading the rush back. Throw it around the boards, around to the far side. Langway flags it down, and he gets it out of danger. That's Langway's strong point, just to move the puck out of his own end. It's that defensive defenseman that people look for, along with those offensive threats. And here is Ronnie Francis again, carries it back into the Capitals end. Drop pass to Stevens. Flip it towards the net. Comes off in behind the goal. Tocchet turned around by Dimitri Christie. Stevens will belt Ridley. They whack one another. And push and shove, and comes from the Capitals now. Rushing back is Iafrate. Iafrate starts into the Penguins in and offside the call. Stevens and Mike Ridley. John with one another pretty good back out of the Capitals zone. Now the offside play stops the play. Caps lead 2-1 here in the third on the Penguins Hockey Network.
I have an excess of 230,000 miles on my Acura. But I've only gone through 5 sets of brakes and about 7 sets of tires. Other than that, the car is maintenance free.
If you're looking for a lasting relationship, meet the Acura Vigor. For a limited time, you can lease the Vigor LS sedan with driver's side airbag and anti-lock brakes for only $299 a month for 48 months with no money down. Build a long-term relationship. Test drive an Acura at your Western Pennsylvania Acura dealer.
Now Iafrate is so dangerous, and he was able to pull down Gordy Roberts, cut in front of Barrasso, and Barrasso got his right pad on the shot and made the save on Al Iafrate. Barrasso has come out to challenge the shooters beautifully in this hockey game. He's been very aggressive, and it has paid off for him.
Well, the Sabres lead Boston 3-0 now in the second period at Boston. The Rangers lead New Jersey 1-0 second period at Madison Square Garden. And Montreal leads Hartford 1-0 second period at Montreal. And the Penguins down by a goal here in the third. And Kevin Stevens on the play. Big booming slap shot misses the target. Around to the right wing boards. Francis over to Mullen. So they've got Stevens and Mullen working the wings for Ronnie Francis, but the Capitals carry the mail. And Hunter tries to deliver it to the Penguins, and he does, and Kevin Stevens back checking in his own zone. Push it up ahead. The pass too far for Francis, and the Capitals wind it down the wood. In behind the Penguin net. Rasso sets it up for Larry Murphy. Not much time to wait here. You've got to move the puck in a hurry. Capitals putting pressure on. Murphy again. Samuelson was knocked down by McDermott. And a penalty coming up here, I believe, against Paul McDermott of the Capitals. And now Murphy runs into McDermott, and McDermott whacks him. I think Paul McDermott is already going off, trying to take somebody with him, but he is going to sit down. And the Penguins will put the power play to use for the first time in this hockey game. Paul McDermott took a run at Ulf Samuelsson. And so the Penguins will work with a man advantage. 2:48, the time of the penalty to McDermott, the Capital right winger. Paul McDermott on the regular season.
He just jumped on Samuelson's back and pulled him right back off his skates.
194 minutes in penalty time.
And then argued on the way to the box. Pete Singleton of Mount Lebanon, PA, is our contestant on the Iron Man Advantage contest. A $100 bill on the line from Iron City Beer.
They call it holding.
Paul McDermott, 2 minutes for roughing, and 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Oh, he's going to get 2 for roughing and 2 for cross-checking. Well, he took a shot at Larry Murphy as he was coming off the ice, and he picked up a double minor. Well, the Penguins have a 4-minute power play here working. Well, 4 minutes to start with. If they should score in the first one, they would get this full 2 minutes on the second power play attempt.
Really, Terry Murray's lips, he said, stupid penalty. I don't know if he was directing that at his player or Gary Fraser. That's probably his player.
Well, the first one he might have accepted. The second one I don't think he wanted at all. And here's Iafrate now with the puck, blasting it back to the Penguins net. The Capitals in penalty killing, 4th overall in the league. The first half of the season they were just absolutely tremendous in penalty killing. They fell off not considerably, but they were the #1 team for most of the year until about the halfway point, and then dropped off. Here's Ridley trying to wrist it out, and he will.
Kelly Miller and Mike Ridley have been killing penalties together for years, and they're excellent at it. They know where each other are all the time.
Well, here's another stat. The Penguins on the power play this year against the Capitals, 4 for 41 in 7 games. Not too impressive. Less than 10% on the conversion rate. And one of the reasons why the Capitals prevailed in 5 of the 7 meetings. Rick Tocchet, though, drags it in. Going over to Stevens, trying to make the play to Mullen. Can't get it through. The Capitals stop it again. Francis comes up in the play with 3:09 to go in penalty time, and the Penguins are offside.
They're having a tough time even gaining the Capital zone here.
And there isn't any question the Penguins will miss Mario Lemieux in this critical juncture of the game, because Lemieux is a guy that really makes things happen on the power play, but they'll have to be without him. I mean, that's just, you don't have any other choice. You'll have to try and convert and tie the game.
Yuri Hrdina did not play much on the power play this year for the Penguins, but he's had a strong game, and he's been effective out here, so Scotty Bowman's going to try him out on the right side. Brian Trottier up front with Yager also. Samuelson's on the back line.
And Scotty Bowman has a way of pushing the right buttons, and at times on hot hands and people that can work with it. Ulf Samuelsson and Shell Samuelsson, the 2-point men now for the Penguins. We'll distinguish both of those when they have the puck for you. And Pavanka and Dave Tippett, one of the premier penalty killers in the league, number 14, Dave Tippett. And Calle Johansson, the Capitals won the draw. They get it back to the Penguin line. Ulf Samuelsson looks for Jaromir Jagr. Pavanka had it, but he gave it away to Shell Samuelsson. Driving to the Capital stripe, and he shoots it down the boards and around to the left wing corner. Kevin Hatcher with that long reach comes in. He runs into Trottier. Now the Penguins fire to the net. Block. Trottier gets it again behind the goal to Jaromir Jagr. To the right point to Shell Samuelsson. Samuelsson back to Jaromir. Jaromir backhanded towards the net. Blocked by Calle Johansson. And he'll sneak it up the length of the ice.
I don't think Jagr anticipated that Samuelsson was going to come back to him with that puck. He wasn't ready for that pass.
2.5 minutes left in penalty time to Paul McDermott. Game right now 2-1 Washington. And Jagr again bursting back in, going the left wing to Trottier. Remember what we told you about Jagr being a good third period player this year. And in his career, for that fact, in 2 years with the Penguins. Jagr up the near boards, digs for it, can't come up with it though. Calle Johansson wrap it around the wood, and out it comes. Penguins will make another change now and bring the #1 unit back on. With 2:08 to go, we're almost into that second penalty. Jagr, good pass over to Stevens, breaks into the Capitals in a slap shot right over the glove of Donnie Beaupre. Now on the right wing boards, Rick Tocchet to the Penguins. Wrap it around to the near side. Jagr trying to pin in and take the puck away from Ridley. Yager's still fighting for it. Iafrate comes up with it. He is hit from behind by Kevin Stevens. Loose puck in front. Tocchet with the backhand. A good save by Beaupre. The rebound of the near corner, and Rick Tocchet has it. Tocchet along the near side, knocked down by Langway, but Yager's over to field it. Yager has it, turns around. He is hit from behind by Langway. Tocchet left point, trying to go to Francis. Stolen by Kelly Miller. Iafrate breaks the left wing. Miller has it. Couldn't get it through, and Murphy stops that play, and Tocchet winds it up back to the Capitals line. Joey Mullen comes over the boards with 1:25 to go. Ridley being pressured by Mullen, and Mullen kicks it ahead. He's going to get to the puck on the Capitals off. Going for the net is Tocchet. Mullen goes behind the goal. Answers on him. Drives him hard into the corner. Great hockey right now. The Capitals trying to shut down the Penguins, and the Penguins fighting to try and tie the game. Francis off to Tocchet, going to Stevens, shoots it. Save made, rebound. Mullen's got it. Try to feather it in front for Murphy and can't get to him. Stevens has it for the Penguins on the right wing side. Over to Rick Tocchet of Pittsburgh. Pressured from behind by Hatcher. Stevens has it. He tried to center it in front. He can't connect with the Capitals player. Still 50 seconds to go on the penalty to Paul McDermott. Penguins are throwing everything in the kitchen sink here at the Capitals, and they've responded so far. Murphy's pass on to Brian Trottier. 13:50 left in the third period. On to Joey Mullen. Looks to make a play. Drops it off to Stevens. He's trying to get it through. He gets it back, though, and shoots it, and then Beaupre stops it. And Mullen trying to go to the right point. Nobody there. Murphy had cut inside going to the slot. Mullen thought he would be there, and he wasn't. And then Joey comes over, and Yager comes right back on for the Penguins. 20 seconds to go. And here comes Murphy. Making those legs work into the Capitals in. Drop it up to Trottier. Trottier taking in deep near corner. Behind the net. Around to Yager. It's a little too hard. Yarmer hit from behind by Cote, who shoots it off the wood, and the Capitals will kill it. They're going to kill the two penalties. A lot of times teams, after they kill the penalties, are a little vulnerable. Let's see what happens here. Yager got crunched by McDermott, who came out of the penalty box. But Stevens with a puck on the right side. Looking for an open man. Has Paul Stanton. Stanton whack at it. Comes up in the air. And delivered down to the near side. Paul McDermott again with a puck. McDermott on to Christie. Christie steps into Penguin territory. Lead it on the near side for Dale Hunter. Loose in front. There's a shot by McDermott. Stopped by Barrasso, who robbed him. He ought to get 5 to 10 for that save. McDermott was wide open in front, and Barrasso somehow kept the puck out of the net.
I don't think he knew he did it. He was unconscious on that one. McDermott hit him with a puck.
It's Stan now delivering the puck to Roberts. 12.5 to go in the third. Roberts fake a shot. Moves in on Hatcher. Goes to Tocchet. He shoots it. That'll miss the target. Stands over, but he can't get there at the right point. And it sails all the way back to Penguin real estate. Barrasso to Stanton. Look for Rick Tocchet. Tocchet, though, got it by Favanka. Here comes Herdina. Back with Bob Erie. 2-on-2. They break into the Capitals in with the pass for Erie's behind him. Capitals counterattack. Some great hockey in the win now. Here's Favanka. Moving back into the Penguins end. Put it in front. A shot. Stopped by Barrasso again as Burry had that play right in front of the net, but Barrasso stopped him again. Now on the near side, Peter Bondra. Bondra to the near corner. Favanka centers in front. A shot off the glove of Barrasso as Bondra took a crack at it. Gordy Roberts of the Penguins. Here come the Penguins with their turn, but I think that line's out of gas. And Herdina, Erie, and settle down, and now Tocchet runs in with his man is knocked down. Capitals have it. Burry's put it in front. Blocked by Roberts. Put it back on the net. Barrasso stops that maneuver. Burry to the left one corner. The Capitals are a little tired right now with this line. Here comes Stevens on the rush. Going back to the Capitals stripe. And he can't get around Cote, who makes a good defensive play. Jennings now rambling back into the near side of the Capitals end. Shoots it right to the net. Beaupre jumps on one leg to make the save. On Grant Jennings, the Penguin defenseman. Jennings in deep. It squirts free to the right of the goal, and the Capitals come away with it. Alan May of Washington. Bruce ahead. Got it up the boards. He cuts around Mullen, moves to the net, pulls back, looking. Lost the puck, and Jennings shoots it back to center. Very few whistles. Mullen now going back into the Capital zone. Joey Mullen drop pass to Stevens is shot up the leg of Calle Johansson. Stevens trying to center anyway. On the play again, but he can't connect. And it's Iafrate turning that. Bruce just runs over off Samuelson and decks him. Flatly back in the center ice area. And on the move will be Iafrate. He cuts into the Penguins end. Looking for Alan May. Capitals lead 2-1 here in this third period. And Murphy, the Penguin defenseman, winds it back to center. Capitals set up shop, and Iafrate wheels it down the boards and in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Murphy of the Penguins finding Troy Loney. 2-1 Washington. Bob Erie with a good short little pass. And Trottier fires it. It went right through Beaupre over to the far corner. Dmitry Kristich, a great skater, finding Paul McDermott. We get into Penguin ice around Larry Murphy. Put it in front, but Kristich can't get there as Loney has him too all covered. Dale Hunter out of the corner. Look out here. Murphy worked it away from him, and Brian Trottier On the attack now with Bob Airy 2-on-2. Make it 3-on-2 as Alf Samuelson comes up. On the right side of Loney. The Capitals get back. Here's Alf Samuelson put it around the net, but the Capitals intercept, and McDermott on right wing to Christie. Giving the puck to Dale Hunter. A wrist shot hit the side of the Penguin goal. Christie challenged in the corner by Alf Samuelson. Dale Hunter comes over. He gets it, passes it out to McDermott. He has nowhere to go with it. Goes back to the left point. Over to the left wing boards for Dale Hunter, and his pass broken up by Pittsburgh.